So crypto got whacked a bit today. Why? Because of NASDAQ. NASDAQ lists the vast majority of the treasury companies that are trying to load up on various different coins or tokens. The problem is NASDAQ is questioning, hey, are people aware of what they're getting into with this? Keep in mind, 2 days ago, I reported that this company Alt5, which is ticker Alt-S, probably is going to head to zero. I'm not very optimistic about it, and I think it's kind of setting up a bit of a scam. You could watch my full video on it to see why I think it is. And even though it's got one of Trump's sons on the board, I don't think the investors in Alt-S realize that they're getting into a money-losing company that's about to pump liquidity, not for its own stock, but they're about to issue a ton of stock to go buy WLFI, the World Liberty Financial Token. That's Trump's token. Basically, pump the bags of people who gave Trump money, essentially. Now, here's the thing. Alt5 is that company. Alt5 is decaying. We already know this. After I made my video, the day I made my video, the stock went down like 27%. Then it went down 19% yesterday. It's down another 18% today. Yesterday morning in our alpha report, which remember, if you remember at meetkevin.com, you get every single day. I literally put a red alarm siren emoji and said, get the hell out of this if you're in it. It is going way down. And sure enough, after that alpha report was down another 19% yesterday, down 18% today. Why? It's because people are being misled by what these companies actually do. And that's why NASDAQ is now stepping up scrutiny of these kinds of plays. Now, keep in mind that Alt5 is a special type of one where Alt5 is, in my opinion, so wild that they've always had a reputation of, I hate to say it, failure. And this comes straight from their annual report on what they do as a business. And basically, as a business, they just fail. I hate to say it. We did a whole video on this, but here's literally a company that was a crypto mining play in Canada. And in October 30, on Halloween of COVID. So during COVID and on Halloween, apparently, there was a severe storm that destroyed all of their crypto mining, and they had to close their crypto mining business. This comes, sort of before they got into recycling energy-efficient appliances and then going into biotech for painkillers. And now, apparently, they're exit liquidity for WLFI, and they're a revolutionary fintech now. Yeah, That's what this company is. They call themselves a financial services and fintech holding company created by financial industry specialists out of the necessity to provide a digital asset economy. Right. So NASDAQ is like, holy smokes. People are literally using these listed vehicles to basically go scam people. And NASDAQ's like, dude, that's going to make NASDAQ look bad. NASDAQ doesn't want this crap. So what are they going to do? Well, NASDAQ is now, quote unquote, stepping up scrutiny of companies listed on the exchange that are aiming to get a stock price boost by raising money to buy and hoard crypto. So basically, they're going to potentially require these companies to get shareholder approval before issuing new shares to buy crypto. Now, if you actually look at the article, what's remarkable is if you type in Trump, they actually they talk about how Trump, where is it? It's in here. They talk about Trump. There it is. Nearly half of the 124 crypto stocks are buying smaller coins, including Trump's World Liberty Financial Tokens. And critics say these deals could be a way for holders of the coins to sell them to unsophisticated stock market investors. Basically, let me translate this to English to you. Donnie T's son, like Eric, goes on Fox News and says, hey, you should invest in Alt5. It's on the stock market. Just swipe up on Robinhood. It's real easy for you to invest in Alt5. It's the greatest thing since sliced bread, bro. And then people are, oh, that's Fox News. well, Fox News, they're not just a shill for Trump. Okay, well, if the president's son is on Fox News talking about it, it must be legitimate. Honey, why don't we throw another 1,000 into alt 5? To wipe up. Oh, we did it. Oh, make America great again. And then what happens? Alt 5 goes, ha, look at all these saps who just bought our stock. Great. We could turn their money into liquidity for all of the insiders who showed up at Donald Trump's dinners and bought World Liberty Financial Token because they're connected to insiders because it wasn't available to outsiders. And we're going to use grandma and grandpa's money that they just bought on Robinhood to go bail out the rich friends of the Trump family buying World Liberty Financial Token. In the future, when all this shit goes to zero, because that's all it is a pile of shit, when it all goes to zero, guess who's left holding the bag? The Fox News watchers and the regular Americans who are just trying to make a buck, when the insiders get away with big profits. And NASDAQ smells this from a mile away. And NASDAQ is like, yo, all right, hold on. Let's at least get grandma and grandpa to vote to approve this pile of flaming turd shit before we let them go buy whatever frickin' tokens they want. NASDAQ wants companies to slow down and make sure their investors know what's going on before they turn themselves into crypto stocks. And because it's a bad look if a bunch of NASDAQ companies go to zero, like Alt5, because they're a scam, my opinion, don't sue me, bro. And I provided my evidence as to why in my other video. Maybe I'm wrong. I could be wrong. So go watch the other video and see the evidence for yourself. But anyway, if they go to zero, then NASDAQ looks bad. And then people aren't going to want to list on NASDAQ anymore because NASDAQ ends up getting associated with being a scam. Even though it's not NASDAQ's fault, they're just, a provider, basically, of a vehicle. They're just a tool. You still have 94 of crypto buying stocks on NASDAQ and only 17 on the NYSE. NYSE, we say NYSE in the industry. Anyway, so this is also obviously hitting, Michael Saylor's MicroStrategy because it could affect them. MicroStrategy is NASDAQ listed. Pretty sure BitMine is NASDAQ listed as well. I'm pretty sure. I'm not sure why I can't see them. Expand. Yeah. Oh, no, they're on the American exchange. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, that's part of NYSE. But anyway, that's interesting. So, but anyway, broadly, it's not uncommon for you to see listing requirements at NASDAQ also end up hitting NYSE because both of them are going to be like, yeah, no, we don't want this. NASDAQ just has a whole lot more of this going on. So, of course, that's why you're seeing some of the pain in some of these treasury companies, but they're also cautious because they don't really want, regular businesses like, I don't know, I'll just make one up, a distillery going in and saying, oh, all of a sudden we're a crypto treasury company, which is actually exactly what happened. So if you jump into that information article again, you could see here, Heritage Distilling, a NASDAQ-listed craft distillery offering military-themed whiskeys, is now going to accumulate a random cryptocurrency called IP, which implies intellectual property. So, these are not what these companies disclosed to their shareholders they were going to do. It's kind of like I look at this as, obviously we do fundamental analysis every day in the Meet Kevin membership, which, you already know you could use coupon code Bullish Catalyst to join that and get lifetime access to this. But, I've been regularly asked, hey, Kevin, why doesn't HouseHack buy, crypto or come up with some kind of treasury strategy for buying, cryptocurrencies? And my answer is always the same. My answer is, I told investors that we are a company that helps people diversify to real estate, and we handle the tenants and toilets. I've always said that we are not a cryptocurrency company. If you want to buy cryptocurrency, go buy cryptocurrencies. But I'm not going to take a real estate company that we've raised, $75 million for or whatever, and turn it into a crypto play, because that's not what I told investors we would do. I told investors we buy real estate, we buy wedge deals, and we fix them up and we rent them out. If we can make money on them in the future by strategically selling some of them, maybe we'll do that. Otherwise, we'll just buy and hodl. And in the meantime, we'll keep developing our AI technology, which we expect to have a limited beta for course members in the fourth quarter, which will be really exciting for AI in real estate. You know, we're cranking. We've had a breakthrough in our AI technology at HouseHack, which is really exciting because we don't think that's built into our valuation at all. But that's fine because, you know, who knows? Like it could go nowhere. But maybe when we release it, people love it the way we do, and maybe people pay for it. We don't know. We can't know. But anyway, you always invest in HouseHack if you want. At househack.com, read the disclosures offering circular private placement memorandums. There's risk with every investment, and this video is not a solicitation. But that said, you know, I get it. I get why NASDAQ is doing this, because NASDAQ is looking and saying, hey, we don't want distilleries or real estate companies or companies that said they're one thing turning into crypto plays, buying random crypto tokens to provide liquidity to potentially scams. Because then it's a scam on a scam, like Alt5. Again, it's my opinion that this is just a vehicle that exists to rip people off and take money from the poor and give to the rich. It's literally the anti-Robin Hood to bail out Trump cronies. That's what this is. And you've got, you finally got the NASDAQ waking up saying, you know what? We don't want to do that. We don't want to be involved in that. So that's great. You know, again, that is what is going to end up hitting the Bitcoin accumulating strategies like Microstrategy, because it's going to make it a little harder for them to raise money. There is also the potential that if you do make it harder, like if you go to Michael Saylor and you say, hey, man, look, you wanted to raise $1 billion roughly in your last fundraising round. You guys only raised 40-something million dollars in your last fundraise. So your last fundraise sucked weenies. It was a bad fundraise. Which gives you less liquidity to go shop for more Bitcoin, which kills that circular momentum, right? Because usually they raise a ton of money, they go buy Bitcoin, then Bitcoin goes up. Bitcoin goes up, then they raise more money because MicroStrategy goes up. But the buck is starting to stop. People are stopping investing money into these treasury strategies. So you're seeing less liquidity to go buy Bitcoin, which is creating a little bit of a stall factor right now. Now, some of that could be macroeconomic, and I'm not saying that, you know, Bitcoin's going to stall out. This isn't a video being bearish on Bitcoin, just saying there's a bit of a stall happening in fundraising strategies for MicroStrategy. Well, what do you think NASDAQ requiring shareholders to vote to approve these strategies is going to do? It's going to make it even harder to conduct this circular strategy of raise money by liquidating the stock, buy the cryptocurrency, raise money to liquidate the stock, buy the cryptocurrency, and the circular momentum. That circular momentum gets hit by regulation. Now, NASDAQ regulation, because NASDAQ's waking up going, no. We don't want grandma and grandpa to keep getting scammed, like by Alt-S. Just saying. That's all I'm saying. Again, I'm not here to be bearish. You know, if you're into Bitcoin or Ethereum, I don't give a flying hooties. I like real estate. I like houses. I like tenants and toilets. I'm jumping up and down about the idea of going to Lowe's to pick up the damn paint that I just ordered through my Lowe's 5% off Lowe's for Pros discount program. And while I'm there, I'm going to go pick up some angle valves for some toilets. That's the kind of stuff that gets me going. I'm wearing a Luigi outfit today. He's a plumber, okay? I got my Luigi cup. I got my Luigi mug. I'm ready for real estate. That's what I do. But I also like to observe what's going on in financials. And what's going on in financials is a red flag to these treasury accumulation companies, and it could slow down the cycle, especially if you root out the scams, which you should, because you're ripping people off at companies like Alt5. And if people vote to be ripped off, great. Fine. At least there's less liability than for a NASDAQ, but that's what's going on. And it is a risk for slowing down these treasury accumulation strategies.
Why not advertise these things that you told us here? I feel like nobody else knows about this.
We'll try a little advertising and see how it goes.
Congratulations, man. You have done so much. People love you. People look up to you.
Kevin Paffrath there, financial analyst and YouTuber. Meet Kevin. Always great to get your take.